What's up, Creighton? Make sure you stay in. People are going to be coming in probably within the next 4 or 5 minutes, and then we'll be getting started. What's up, Angel? How are you? What's up, Sam? I'm not sure if you guys are going back. New Jersey's pretty rough right now, so I'm sure we'll have a meeting about that eventually, but at this time I am not sure. See only 2 people in here. If you comment that you're in here, make sure you stay in here because I can see how many people are in the chat. Give people about 2 more minutes to come in. Sorry about the line face, Sam. Make sure you guys have your chapter 18 writing effective sentences packet out and that you have your Lord of the Flies book ready. That is the Avengers in the back. Can you guys see the board clearly and everything that's on it? I can move it up closer if you need. All right, I guess like it's going to be just the 3 of you guys today. If so, that's fine. We'll just keep a note for that for later. So if you guys have your chapter 18 packets in front of you, look at the front page where it says combining sentences. We're going to be going over that right now, and I want you guys to understand the benefits of mixing up your writing. We're going to be doing again a paper if we do come back that will go over the Lord of the Flies and ask you some pretty specific questions about the storyline, about the boys, and about their growth. So I want you guys to be able to express yourself just as analytically as we've discussed things in class. So combining sentences, be it if it's for one of your papers, be it if it is for just something you're doing for your personal life, combining sentences is something that you want to learn how to do because at that point, it allows you to better communicate your idea. The main idea that you are going on this rant over, or you're having the discussion over, or typing up this paper for, this journal, etc. You're going to want to have a main idea. All right? And when you combine sentences, it helps you interconnect your main idea with your supporting facts. So one benefit of combining sentences is that it helps you improve choppy writing. You don't have the packet crate in? If you go to Alma, you can print it up there. One second. Hey, Andy. Doing well. I'm doing my live stream for the 10th grade.
Oh, you right now?
Yeah.
So we had it snapping at 9, so I guess I wanted to talk to you maybe you get off 9 or past 11. I'll try to give you a call back when I get off my 11 o'clock class.
Okay, not a problem. Sorry about that. I totally forgot about that. Yes, D, my last name, so Casillas, UPA at Gmail.
Okay, cool. Thanks. I'll give you a call when we're both going to class.
All right, no problem. Yep, bye. All right, sorry about that, guys. Next. So, an example of how we can use sentence combination to really impact and improve our writing is something like this. So, I'm going to use the example that they have in the book, right? So, right under the headline where it says combining sentences, it has a paragraph that I would like you guys to read where it says whether you're writing a school or workplace assignment. If you could read that to yourselves, while you guys do that, I will be writing this example sentence that they have about a geyser. Okay? Whoever the fourth person in the chat is, make sure that you comment your name so that you are getting marked for your attendance. How far are you guys along that? Sam, focus. All right. Make sure you guys read where that whole combining sentences section. I want you to read over that example paragraph that they wrote. Once you guys all have read that, just comment done. And then I'm going to ask you guys to give me an adequate way to combine some of these sentences that they have available written out for you and how you can make it better. All right, guys. Did everyone finish reading that paragraph? The one that's also in their chapter 18 packet. It's on the board. All right. But there is enough information there. I see Sam's the only one that's done. There's enough information there that you guys should have been able to read for at least like 2-3 minutes. Angel's done. All right, Jada and awesome. So, a geyser is a spring that shoots hot water into the air with great force. Some geysers erupt continually. Some geysers remain inactive for long periods. The water seeps into the Earth's surface through cracks. The water expands into steam when it reaches hot rocks. So, we can combine a lot of these sentences. A lot of these sentences are just simple one-shot ideas, meaning some geysers erupt continually. That is just one little statement. Some geysers remain inactive for long periods. That's another statement. But many of these statements that we have broken up into one sentence, we can combine to make more eloquent combined sentences. For example, all right, the sentences are going to look longer, but these revised sentences are going to look and just sound that much different. Hopefully you guys can read this easily. I'm trying to stand off to the side to make sure you guys can see at all times. If you cannot, just let me know. All right, so we have a geyser is a spring that shoots hot water into the air with great force. We could edit this with the next sentence where it says some geysers erupt continually. We can get rid of this period and change this into a comma. Okay. And right after that comma, we have this word some. We still want to have the word some in here, but we're going to add something right before that some to transition into where this period used to be. Now it's a comma. So we want these two sentences to agree with each other and work and flow together. So instead of just some, we would erase that. A simple word we can use to show that some erupt continually and some are inactive for long periods of time. We can use the word while and then re-add the word some. So now those two separate sentences with just this simple addition of the word while now sound a lot more fluid and connected to each other. Some geysers erupt continually, while some geysers remain inactive for long periods of time. And we could write of time right in here. And we'll put a caret and of time. Okay? So, for long periods of time. We don't need to add of time. It's something that I added because it shows the difference in urgency, time, right? Some happen continually, some happen every so often, or not at all. Next, for the next sentence, the water seeps into the Earth's surface through cracks, period. The water expands into steam when it reaches extremely hot rocks. For that second sentence, I'm not sure if the example is also in your book, but if it is not, let me know. And then I would like you guys to pair these two last sentences together effectively. It says we're supposed to be on at 11. Well, I was told 10 today, so that's all right. What we could do is I'm just going to have this one a day. And for those who come on at 11, I'll just redo it again. That's fine. Don't worry about it. All right. So the water seeps into the Earth's surface through the cracks, period. How can we get rid of this period and switch that into something that we could use to combine these two sentences together? Get rid of this period completely and make this one larger sentence. Anybody? What can we supplement instead of this period? What can we add? Okay, comma, you said. What else? If we did a comma, how would we transition between cracks and then the next sentence that we are trying to add to this sentence, Sam? You don't know what you would add? Anybody else? Angel, Jada, Creighton, what do you think? What do you think we could replace this period with? All right, I respect that, Sam. It's just a suggestion. Anybody else? Any other suggestions? All right. Sam, I like that you were thinking of the comma because a brief pause, but actually, the way these two sentences are organized, we can do something simple that way. It's one step and it creates a nice fluid transition between the two sentences while combining them into one. Not a colon or a semicolon. All right. You could use a semicolon, but we're not going to be doing that. Easy way for you guys to do this. That way you're not confused. We get rid of this period, right? The water seeps into the Earth's surface through cracks. And I'm going to rewrite these two words, the water. And where that period used to be, a great way to connect this is we're going to say something simple. And if you have two sentences that look as though they are explaining things that go right after each other, right? So the water seeps into the Earth's surface through the cracks. What happens after that? Well, when it seeps into the Earth's surface through the cracks, it also expands. So we would switch it to and we get rid of these two words that we had initially, which were the water, right? So here, I'll write and bigger since we have all this space, right? So now where the water was here, we now have a nice transition. Hey, what's up, Janaya? Yes, Jada, add and. The water seeps into the Earth's surface through cracks and expands into steam when it reaches extremely hot rocks. So those two sentences, we got rid of the two words that were there before, the water, as well as the period at the end of cracks, and combined these two sentences into something that still expresses and explains the same thing, But now we've differentiated the organization of our sentences. We've differentiated the flow. Our sentences aren't just going to be one little statement followed by a period. All right. When you mix up your sentences and add extra details where you may have a simple sentence, a few sentences beforehand, it adds that differentiation and makes a nice, what we call an ebb and flow, almost like a river. It creates an ebb and flow for your writing. Hey, Janella. Hey, Janaya. Thanks for showing up. I know I was told I was a little early, and that's all right. As long as you guys are here, that's what I care about. Only a few of you got to come in anyway. So, whoever else is in here that hasn't commented their name or commented in general, just make sure you do that. That way I can see that you're here and you get credit. For those who are just joining us, we are working on the Chapter 18 Writing Effective Sentences packet. What's up, Carlos? How are you? I hope everyone's doing good and I hope everyone's safe. All right. So for those who just got here, we are in the Chapter 18 packet, Writing Effective Sentences, and we just went over the combining sentences paragraph. Okay, we'll be moving on to inserting words. So for those who just got here, we're still on the first 2 pages, so we might be on the back side of your first page. Yes, make sure you pull out your paper and have a notebook so you're taking notes. In red on the board is the example paragraph that they provide to you in the book. All right. In that example paragraph, we then took away the periods in certain spots and combined those sentences together to create more powerful and diverse sentence work. So next, since we're just going to keep going, everyone else who just got here, make sure you go back and read combining sentences. For those who are here, we're on inserting words. So again, we already know you can combine short sentences by taking one word from a sentence and inserting it to another sentence. That insertion is that missing link that connects the 2 sentences together, okay? When you do this, you might have to remove a few words. You may want to add a few words. That's okay. That's just going to differentiate those sentences that much more, make them more impactful, and show that this goes together with this new sentence. So, in your packet, you'll see a little square in the middle that says using the same form and then changing the form. Okay, I want you guys to look at that. Yes, you can highlight the packet. All right. When you look at the inserting word section, the original sentence in there says Andrew Lloyd Webber composed music for several Broadway musicals. The musicals were popular, right? Those are 2 effective sentences that separate work, but how do we make that better? Well, when we combine these sentences, you're going to see that the word popular is still highlighted because that's what we're using to describe the musicals. Okay? But now we are going to make those 2 sentences into one. Okay? So Andrew Lloyd Webber composed the music for several popular Broadway plays. It still shows that he composed the music for the plays, and it still shows the popular success of those musicals. Now let's go back to look at the original, and we'll see what was trimmed out. Andrew Lloyd Webber composed the music for several Broadway musicals. The musicals were popular, right? So what did we remove? We removed for sure the musicals were before popular, right? We kept the key information of those musicals being popular, and we know that he made several musicals. So we can add the word popular right after the word several because he's still making several musicals, but he's also made popular musicals. So we can combine these two statements and say that he has made several popular musicals, and there's no need to make those two sentences when we could have the one. Also, a note, when you change the form of a word before inserting it into a sentence, you often add an ending that makes that word an adjective. Okay? So, for example, the endings that you would use the most, I'm going to use blue just because this is up here. And then once we get through here and you guys are on exercise 1, I will erase for the next section. Okay? So, some examples for endings would be ed. We also have ending ful, like from beauty to beautiful. ing, ly. So if you add these endings to certain words, it's going to change them from their base word and make them into an adjective. He ran gracefully, right? She was reciting her music in a graceful tone. The way she described it was graceful. She sounded so beautiful the way she spoke. These are the endings that are just going to change the word beauty to beautiful, hungry to hungrily. Okay? Think of all of those things. We have another example. So, the initial Andrew Lloyd Webber example was using the same form. All right? Meaning we kept the word popular and did not change it. We didn't change it to popularly. All right, popularized, we didn't change it. We just kept the word popular as it was in the same form. Okay, so for the next example, we're going to do the same thing. Andrew Lloyd Webber is best known for his melodic scores. And then another sentence is, the scores flow. How could we combine Andrew Lloyd Webber is best known for his melodic scores and the scores flow? To do that, what we would do, so Lloyd Webber, and he has two B's in his name. I'm sorry, Andrew Lloyd Webber, for messing up your name. But Lloyd Webber is best known for his melodic scores. All right, that's one sentence. And another separate sentence is the scores flow. All right. So we see these two sentences separately, right? Lloyd Webber is best known for his melodic scores. The scores flow. In the chat, I want you guys to combine these two sentences together and change the form. Change one of these words into something with one of these endings to make this work. Hello, Ariana. How are you? We're going to give you guys about a minute or two to type up an example of these two combined in the chat. All right, Ariana, you put bless, blessful, etc. I want you to take this sentence and this sentence and combine them into one sentence. I don't know if you can see, but there's a period here and there's a period here. Okay? We want to be able to get rid of one of these periods and make them into one sentence. All right, Ariana, so you can't see that? All right, so you were the first, and that is okay. So now let's zoom this bad boy in. You're going to see less of me and more of the whiteboard. How is that? So far, it's going good, Carlos. Thank you for asking. Scoring? No. Try to rewrite these two sentences together. No one else? All right. I'm going to erase this top portion because you should be able to write this example down yourself already, giving you enough time for your notes. All right. So Lloyd Webber is best known for his melodic scores. The scores flow. We can change that to say something. Good try, Janaya, but no. And Jada, great job. You don't need to write I think in there. Just take away the apostrophe S from his scores because I don't have an apostrophe S there. There's no need to add it. But yes, so these two can be combined by saying Lloyd Webber is best known for his, and where we had flow here, we can say flowing for his flowing melodic scores. All right. So what we did here is we took away the second portion of the scores, right? We took the word flow and put this ing ending. Okay? This ing ending is one of the ones that we represented down here that could then change the form of flow, right? Flow is now flowing, thus changing the form of that word. And in the sentence, it changes its use in the sentence. You confused, Ariana? All right. So initially, right, we said Andrew Lloyd Webber is best known for his melodic scores, period. The scores flow. So whoever wrote these initial two sentences said that the scores flow, meaning that they go together or they move smoothly into the next, right? So if we wanted to take these two sentences and make them into one sentence, his melodic scores are flowing. So his flowing melodic scores still transition into the next melodic score. You see what I'm saying? We haven't changed any of the information. We just took this word here and brought it into this sentence. And to put flow before melodic, we had to add ing, so it's flowing. All right? And then all of this extra goes away. Right? All of this is gone. Lloyd Webber is best known for his flowing. See, we had the word flow here, right? We changed the form. We added ing, turned it into flowing melodic scores. Is that way a little bit easier for you to see it, Ariana? Let me know in the chat. Because if it is, hopefully that helped. So, okay, good. So for exercise 1 in your notes, what I would like you guys to do is to look at those sentences, okay? There are 10 sentences that I want you to combine together and to create one solid, effective sentence by inserting words. Okay? There's are 10 examples. I want to give you guys about 5 minutes to look over it and to try to do at least one. That way, in your notes, you guys can do the other 10 on your own as we continue on. So I'm going to give you guys about 2-3 minutes to do exercise 1, combining sentences by inserting words. If you don't get through all 10, that is fine. You can use the rest of your time afterwards to get back into that. Hey, Andy. Correct. I sent an email to all the students. They should all have it. Correct. Right now in class, I have 8 students: Jada, Ariana, Sam, Janaya, Angel, Creighton, Tatiana, and Carlos. Yes, I think I was anxious this morning, and I woke up an hour earlier for class, but I had them all. Yeah. I sent out the email early enough, and they showed up. But, they let me know the same thing. They were like, "Mr. Cia, are we supposed to be on at 11?" And I looked at my schedule. And I was like, "Oh, yeah." Sure. And if he pops in now, he'll be able to catch the end half, and the whole thing will be available as a full video at the end. Yep. No problem. Bye. Sorry about that. Yes, on paper, Sam. Yes, it is right outside. It's right out the gate, Janaya. Right out the gate. Have you guys taken notes? All right. 2 more minutes for you guys to get through hopefully at least 2 of those examples. I want you guys to try at least 1 and 2. You guys can get through 3 through 10 in your notes after. We're going to be looking at this packet again next week, so don't worry about it, because there's more to this that we need to go over, and we still need to go over the Lord of the Flies. Yes, I want you guys to finish the book. Absolutely. So, even though I asked you guys to finish the book, we're going to be doing some discussion on chapter 11, and then next class we'll do chapter 12. Unfortunately, we have only an hour, so there's only but so much we can do. All right. So, Sam, Adriana, Tatiana, if you already did an example, write out how you did your example in the chat. So if you did question 1, if you all did question 1, how did you change question 1 to make it work for you? Let's see how you did it. I'm going to see if you did it right or not. That way I can help you get there. Oh, that's fine. If you finish the book, that's totally great. We'll discuss that a little bit today, and next class we'll probably discuss the ending of the book. That's more than all right. Hey, not everyone finished, Creighton. Stop giving away spoilers. Spoiler alert. All right. So for those who have the stream link, what time is this class over again? It's over today at 11. Next week, our class is from 11 to noon. I was anxious, I guess, and I woke up early and created the stream a little bit earlier than I should have, but I'm glad to see you guys showed up. All right. So, all yelling at Creighton aside, for example 1, write in the chat your edited response to question 1. I'm going to see how you guys did it. So, question 1 in exercise 1, write your edited response. How did you turn those 2 sentences into 1? Come on, guys. All you have to do is type up the response in the chat. Type it up. And I will write down the question up here as well. I'm going to keep the endings. We're going to get rid of this. Creighton, I understand you don't have the packet. If you go to Alma, you'll be able to print it up from home. And if you don't have a printer, you could at least download it to your laptop, tablet, or phone. And then from there, you could just visually see it and then write your notes in your notebook. Great job, Jada. Anybody else have that? So the 2 original sentences were, let me get rid of Lloyd Webber as well. So the two original sentences, so that you guys could see the work that was done. All right, good. I'm glad you guys have the same thing. If I ask for examples, though, next time I'm not going to be so quick with yes, you did the right thing. I want to see everyone type it up and do that, all right? I want to see you guys all do it before you guys know that someone had the right answer. All right, Jada, and everyone else, actually, since you guys all said you got the same response. What did you look for in the two separate sentences that stood out that you knew you could take and remove the rest and make this into one sentence? What was a key word here that you knew you could just erase this period, get rid of this, and just have the one period? Anybody? What stood out? All right. Since I don't see any responses, properties was used twice, right? So we knew that we didn't need the word properties twice. They're viewed for their properties. What properties? Their medicinal properties. So we don't need the word properties twice, all right? What we need to do is find a way to get the word medicinal into the first description of properties. Yes, Delvon, we are currently doing the chapter 18 chapter packet from for the textbook that I gave you guys. All right, so if you go to your chapter 18 packet, we're currently doing exercise 1, those 10 questions. All right, and yes, this is live. All right, so we have plants have always been viewed for their properties, period. These properties are medicinal. So we have properties once here. We can get rid of this second sentence almost completely, but we want to keep medicinal, right? This is the one little bit of information that we didn't have. So how do we combine plants have always been viewed for their properties and medicinal? We put a little caret right here, and now it's, as Jada said, plants have always been viewed for their medicinal properties. All right. Having their medicinal properties as a separate sentence works, but it's ineffective. We're expressing the same thing twice. We already know that they have properties. So what are some of those properties? Medicinal. Okay. Plants have always been viewed for their medicinal properties. You got rid of this second sentence, and we're able to combine that into one sentence that gives you the same information those two sentences gave, but now it's one solid flowing sentence that's still grammatically correct and provides the reader with the same information. All right. So next, I want you guys to do example 2 real quick for yourself. Try that one out if you got the first one wrong. And then at 10:55, we're going to discuss the Lord of the Flies for like 5 minutes. And we're going to be doing this again next class. We're going to move on to the next section. So do not get rid of your chapter 18 packets. All right. We still have more of chapter 18 to go through. DJ's the only one I haven't seen come in so far. Good job, Ariana. I see your example in there. Angel, did DJ not take a Chromebook home? Tatiana, you guys for homework had to read the rest of Lord of the Flies, which I'm hoping you all did. Okay. Your chapter 18 packet and your other chapter packet are group classwork as well as notes. So don't worry about those during this time. We are going to be working on these together as a class. What you'll be doing for homework is the rest of exercise 1 and exercise 2. When we get to inserting phrases, that'll be next class, okay? So exercise 1 and 2 in your notes, I want to see those done. But then you also have those guided reading packets. Those you can do for homework at any time, okay? Just make sure that when you finish them, you do turn them in. That way I can give you the appropriate credit for them. All your assignments that I've assigned thus far are in Alma, and you'll be able to see which ones are the chapter packets that we're working together in class, and the others are the ones that you can do on your own. All right, I'm going to erase this, and hopefully you guys did your exercise too, because we are going to move on. All right, so you guys were tasked with finishing the Lord of the Flies. We're only going to be discussing chapter 11, okay? We did chapter 10 as a group in class. Yes, you can print out the assignments from Alma, Delvon. Adiana, you should have been looking at chapter 18 this whole time. Chapter 21's for another time. All right, so Lord of the Flies. We've been discussing this book for about a month, and we are at the end tail of the book. There's chapter 11 and chapter 12. Today we're going to discuss chapter 11 for the last 5 minutes of class. Something super simple. We'll get more into it next class. In chapter 11, what are the boys going through at the very beginning of this chapter? What are they experiencing? What are they feeling? How are they interacting? And what happened at the end of chapter 10, if you guys remember? Give you guys a minute to give me a short little response. Carlos, focus. Yes, I have a migraine. You guys can tell through the computer. Yes. In chapter 10, Simon died. All right. Simon died at this dance that the boys were doing this ritualistic dance almost at this bonfire party that Jack is hosting because they killed the pig. They're eating the pig, right? And right before that, Jack and Ralph are almost bickering on who is the better leader. Yeah, the boys killed Simon, right? Collectively, they all did. So, what's going on in chapter 11? How do we start that chapter? How are they feeling? What's going on? Anybody? In the beginning of chapter 11, you guys said you read. How are the boys feeling? Yes, good job, Creighton. They're kind of in shock, right? They don't know how to react to the current situation. Um, Ralph and Piggy are discussing it, and then Sam and Eric come, right? They come out of nowhere, and the boys are shocked. They're like, whoa, who is this? They see Sam and Eric, and then they ask him, where have you guys been? Where were you? And yeah, Jade, they are miserable. That's another great response. Um, Sam and Eric say, oh, we were out getting this wood, this giant piece of log, right? But outside of that, Piggy and Ralph still want to know like what they were doing. And what happens? The boys react almost like in shock. Oh, we were at the party. They bring up the dance, and then they said, "Oh, we were on the outside." No one wants to admit to being inside of that circle and part of the outcome of Sam's death, right? These boys are shook. They don't understand how to process what just happened, right? At the end of the day, these are still young boys. Simon's dead. What was he doing in the dark? He was crazy showing up in the darkness and just going in the middle of the circle. He was asking for it. That's how they try to rationalize it. These boys don't understand the impact of what they just did. A group of boys all abandoned on an island, and now they have to try to rationalize and think of death. We killed someone. And that's really hard for them. Yeah, he was running, definitely. Exactly, Jada. He was trying to tell them what the beast actually was. They killed him before he gives them this information that could potentially remove all of their fears, right? All of these fears, all of these insecurities, the unknown of who the beast is would have all been resolved if Simon was able to give that message. But he wasn't. No, Tatiana, in class we talked about chapter 10. That was the last chapter we talked about. That was when Sam and Eric and the group of boys all are at the beach and they're all partying. This is afterwards. So chapter 11 starts immediately after this. The next day, Ralph is questioning if he's still chief because some of the boys aren't in his group anymore. They've gone with Jack, right? But then Robert comes. They see Robert and he's walking through. How do you defend yourself? They show the cool contraptions on how like the stone drops, right? And they use that as defense. And yes, they did want to say what the beast was. But Robert sees all of these intricacies that Ralph's group has, and he says, so he's the real leader, right? They're able to identify these things now. They've gone through this trauma that was eye-opening for some, right? So with the rest of chapter 11, if you guys did not read it, I would like you to go through because there's more to discuss. And I want you guys to make sure you get to the end of the book. All right? During this time, there's no reason that you guys should not be able to get to the end of the book while we're on quarantine, okay? So get through that. We'll discuss chapter 11 more. I wish you guys the best of luck through all this. Get those individual short reading packets done. You get those done, you don't have to worry about that. You only have to worry about your chapter reviews and your exercises when we do these discussions, okay? Make sure you're getting that done. You guys are going to have a Lord of the Flies quiz next week, so make sure you are ready for that. And if you have any questions, send me an email, okay? I will get back to you as soon as possible. I'm definitely going to try to make this as easy for you guys as I can from here. Angel, I'm sorry this is going to drive you crazy. Again, if you need help with anything, just send me an email. Best of luck, everyone. Stay safe, stay home, hug your families tight, say your I love yous, and just be safe. All right? I'll talk to you guys later.